Mission Pro Wrestling, the symbol of excellence in women's sports entertainment.
Here we go. Good evening, fam, and welcome to Mission Pro Spotlight. I am Mind Runner, and with me is the Dora the Explorer, but she explores all the cool things in wrestling fandom, among other fandoms. You can catch her on the Frumily podcast that she does, where she's going back through all the shows. I got to be a part of that. Really cool stuff. Awesome to have you. How you doing, Dora?
I'm doing good. Been working these past few days, so a little exhausted, but I'm here.
I appreciate you being there, as exhausted as you are. Make sure you give yourself some TLC. Make sure that you treat yourself. Today is Tuesday. Treat yourself. And we're treating ourselves to our guest coming up in a little while, Nahir Robles, La Chica de Hola Hola. She'll be with us momentarily. She, like all of us, is having a little bit of technical issues, but we'll be getting going. But we wanted to go ahead and get started because Dora and I were having some not against each other, but heated in agreement on some issues going around right now in professional wrestling. Of course, Thursday we do have our regular show where we're going to cover all kinds of wrestling news, including what's going on in Stardom. But we just learned that on NXT, they broke up the Meta-4. Why don't you tell us about that, Dora?
They made it seem like, for me, like the way that Lash said it, she said, I gotta go my way, Jakara's gotta go her way, like Oro, like, if they go their own way, I'm not understanding why, because they're such a good tag team. Like, why would you break up Meta-4 tag team? Like, if they're gonna be Jakara and Lash, cool, but like, I don't understand why they're doing this. Like, maybe if they're gonna move both Jakara and Lash up, that would be cool. I'm thinking maybe since Trick was down there over messing with Joe Hendry, maybe it's a Lash and Trick are gonna get moved to TNA. Like, maybe that's their next step. But like, I don't understand the breakup portion on the girls' end. I can get like Oro, he's going to evolve. Okay,
yeah,
cool. I get Heritage Cup. Okay, that's more. Well, I don't know with him that too. I don't understand why he has to lose his faction just because he's won the Heritage Cup now.
You don't have to break up a faction just because you're moving people around. In fact, that actually
Charles had the cup and he was with how do you say QCC the whole time. So I don't understand it. Like,
I don't know what they're planning. By the way, hey, what's up, Vox? Good to see you. Good evening. Let us know your thoughts because there's some things that we're just really scratching our head. Among other things, is current one half of the women's tag team champions in WWE, Liv Morgan, who, no shade, I mean, she's fantastic, but she's now going on a hiatus to film a movie, and yet she's still one half of the women's tag teams. Why take the belts off of and start this feud between Lyra and Becky? Why not drop the belts on an existing tag team? We've got so many great tag teams out there. Let me ask you, and I want to know in the chat as well, but Dora, do you think that there's a negative stigma on not just the WWE women's tag team belts, but women's tag team in general, like AEW and WWE? They don't seem to give the reverence to women's tag teams like TNA does. TNA has had some killer tag teams. MLW, NWA, of course, Mission Pro.
NXT has good tag teams.
There are a ton. Chemical X. I know that they have only been tagging recently, but they are so in lockstep with each other, and they had a title shot. You could have pulled the trigger. There's Zolruka. There's so many. What do you think? And let us know in the chat too. What do you think, Dora? Do you think there's a problem with women's tag teams in WWE and AEW?
I feel like we're talking about it, me obviously before this, but I kind of agree with you. It's like you get these tag teams, they're really good together, these women's tag teams, and then someone wants to just come pluck one of them. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, oh, I just want this one instead of both of them. Like, let them, like, especially when they're so good together, like Lash and Jakara, how are you going to separate them? Why would you separate them? It doesn't make sense. Like, right now, they've been building together this whole time. Why just cut them off from that? Why? I don't understand that portion. I feel like I get like women wanting like having other opportunities, but let's be real, if Liv is gonna be in a big movie part, or show part, whatever it is she's gonna do, like it's not gonna take no week to film. It's not gonna take no 2 weeks. Like you're
No.
saying we're gonna have pretty much a vacant tag team belts. Raquel's just gonna be fighting everybody by herself when she's still garbage right now. Like she's not at the top of
No.
her game at all. She came back and is stiff. She hasn't shown the ring work that she used to show us. Like it doesn't make any sense to keep this situation going like this. I get like because they could have definitely done Becky and Lyra. They could have turned them at a different time. Definitely literally ridiculous. Like bring Becky back on an episode of Raw. We did not need it at WrestleMania. If this is what they were gonna do.
When you do a heel turn like that, they didn't. I don't feel like they gave it enough time to breathe.
They gave it one day.
Exactly, one day she's going to turn. I mean, I felt like that was almost a panic, last minute thing. Plus, I love the Bird Lady, but she needs to kind of run with Becky a little longer to kind of get a little bit more comfortable on the main roster as a champion to kind of go through it. Of course, I also have an issue with solo champions having tag team titles as well. There just seemed to be that's an opportunity for somebody else. But there's, like you said, there's established tag teams. I'm okay with tag teams breaking up if they've run their course. Like if they have had a number of tag team title championships, if they've done a lot of stuff, like when Edge and Christian broke up, that made sense because it felt new. They had pretty much done the Edge and Christian thing, and you splitting up Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy, they were able to come back, but those things make sense because they've done their tag team runs. But I don't feel like
when Willow and Statlander were tag teaming and then they broke up. Makes sense there. Like there's great examples, but at the same time, like why are you doing this to the tag team, like the belts? Like they're already like barely utilizing the women's champion. Like we got it on IO now, so they're making her, this is probably the most I've seen with the women's champion even compete for this belt. Tiffany barely did anything even now. She's gonna get she's feuding with Jade now. Cool. What are we gonna do about this? Like, where do we go from here? Me too, because they're both fairly, I mean, I don't want to say fairly new, but like Jade just came back. Tiffany her and Charlotte went hard, obviously in that match, but like they're both so relatively new. I feel like they still kind of need someone in their corner a little bit just to help them just a little bit more. Like Tiffany, all she has is her moonsault. We don't got much else as far as moves on her end. With Jade, she's been a powerhouse since AEW. We gotta get her some more ring work too. Like we can't just keep having her powerhouse through everybody because they're gonna get bored. Like that's cool in AEW, but like WWE, there's so many women that have good moves. They have been doing this for years. Like we need you to step it up if you're gonna try and get this championship.
Absolutely, and I think you're absolutely right. And this is no shade at Jade or Tiffany. I don't neither. We were talking about this before. We both are adore both of them. And definitely Jade. There are several people that have said to me or have said out loud publicly about Jade's work ethic, about how she showed, like when she was in AEW, she was showing up to every
Mhm.
Wednesday morning practice. You know, Dustin Rhodes would see her, Thunder Rosa would see her. You know, she's putting in the work. And I know Tiffany's doing it too. She's trying. We've discussed before how much Charlotte was helping. Yeah, I think Charlotte kind of took the attitude of throw them in the water and so they can learn how to swim. But I think if you put Tiffy with, say, a Bailey, and I'm not saying from a storyline state, I'm saying from like a background state. Heck, a Natty Neidhart would be a great person to put Tiffy with. You got to put him with a veteran that can so they can slowly develop those missing pieces. Because if you do throw somebody, if you throw your champion in the deep end and expect them to swim, but then you don't, but when you see that they're starting to drown, you don't do anything. I think you're setting them up for I think you're setting them up for failure. And yeah, like Vox says, you know, Jade's cool, Tiffy's cool, but the feud doesn't interest me. You're almost, you know,
not at all. I don't understand why they're going this direction. Like, where did the feud come from? Why are they fighting?
Who's the
What
baby
are they
face?
fighting?
Who's the baby face here? Who's the heel?
I don't know. Like Jade, unless they're doing Jade, Bianca, and Naomi are all heels right now, and Tiffy's the baby face. Like, I don't understand what this feud is for. Like, where did it come from? Like, I get everyone wants the belt, but such a random person to throw at Tiffany. Because you know Jade's a little bit better than her. You know Jade's obviously stronger than her. Like, what are you thinking? Like, is it like you said with the Charlotte thing, we're just gonna throw her in with her and hope she does good? But like, they're not vets in this game at all.
I would have rather, okay, in hindsight, this is hindsight, because at the time I was really, you know, my heart was like, Tiffy needs to keep the strap. I think Charlotte should have beat Tiffy at WrestleMania.
Oh, yes.
And then Charlotte should have come out with the championship, talked all kinds of smack, and then a storm is coming. I would be much more pumped for Jade versus Charlotte Flair.
Oh, yes. I feel like Charlotte definitely should have won, and then they would have had a veteran that can work with all the new girls. Yeah. That's exactly what they needed to do. Charlotte needed to win, so Tiffany can still try and come back and mess with her. You know, like Roxanne Perez is coming up, Stephanie's coming up, Julia's coming up. Like, use your vets the right way. Don't put them up against each other. Like the way with Becky and Lyra, I think this is going to be good for, you know, Lyra definitely will be a good put over. Becky's good at that.
Yeah.
But like, I don't understand everybody else what they're doing. And then they're talking about bringing Nikki Bella back. I'm like, for what? Like, why are you bringing these women back and not having them feud with the correct younger girl that they should feud with?
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
You know, this is where Japan has a great system with their young boy system. I mean, that's what they call it. But I mean, you can have like a mentorship program. You know, like I felt like, you know, Bailey's a great resource. You could pair a lot of these veterans up with these younger stars, and they get there like Darby and Sting. You know, like that's a great pair. That's a great pair.
I feel like Nia and Tiffany were cool together, but at the same time, like Nia's a heavyweight. Tiffany is not a heavyweight. Like, you're having the wrong people put together. Like, what is she gonna learn besides like heavyweight moves? And then who is she gonna? And then you put her against like someone like Roxanne Perez. Like, it's not gonna make any sense. The moves that she learns against Roxanne, especially since Roxy, you know, Roxy's gone against everybody. She came from the indie world. Same thing with Maddie Rankowski. Like, these girls came from the wrestling indie world, so they've won with everybody. Exactly. They've gone against the bigger girls, smaller girls, like medium-sized girls. Like, they've gone against everything. So those are the girls you can also use against like a Nia Jax.
That's an excellent point. Yeah.
Against like a Piper. Against a Rhea. Like, I think the Rhea and Roxanne feud is going to be cool if they start that. Like, it's going to make sense. Like, there's certain people it's going to make sense because they've been in this a while. But like I don't want to say like the Jada Parkers, like the Kalani Jordans, like these girls didn't come from wrestling. So they're good at what they're doing for now, but they
Yep.
need to elevate themselves. Like that's why Roxy matters. That's why that feud with the feud with Roxanne Perez matters. That's why I feel like Maddie needs to get put in more. Maddie Rankowski,
Absolutely.
because she, Ren needs to be put in more because
And
these are girls that have done it all and
exactly. I
can
love
help
what
these other
Trenda says
girls.
here too. Different styles make matches interesting. I agree 1,000%. You look at some of the folks in AEW. You look at Chris Statlander. Chris Statlander have a killer match with Riho, and then turn around and have a killer match with Willow, and then have a match with wide variety. There's so many wrestlers that can have those different matches. You and I have agreed that this is this version of Nia Jax is the best version of her.
Yes.
Like this, she's cooking with it.
Well, and because they had her against people that
Mhm.
were more her size, so it didn't look like she was like fumbling around trying to like wrestle with smaller girls.
Absolutely, but I do think that like if she had a match with Roxanne, like a match of Nia Jax with Roxanne, that would be a banger because Roxanne knows how to dance with her. You got to find that dance partner. It doesn't necessarily like you said because what we were talking about is the context of a mentor mentee, where you want to match up a mentor mentee with very similar styles so that the mentee the young girl or young boy the learner can learn stuff that's fitting for them. Absolutely. So you don't want to put her as you don't want Nia Jax to be a direct mentor. She'll offer great advice, especially the promos and whatnot. But yeah, you want somebody a little more in the online. But as far as matchups, as far as like matches, I think you could put a Nia Jax versus Tiffy. It would be a banger, but is Tiffy there yet? And what are they going to do? Is Roxanne Perez on the main roster? Is it Monday Night Rocks? Is it what are we doing? Or is she still NXT?
I think that's what they're transitioning, like with adding Julia with Stephanie. I think this is their weird way of moving them in because Naomi did you watch the interview where Naomi was saying this might be like her last run? And then there's rumors, I don't think it's true, but there's rumors of Bianca like wanting to leave to have a baby, so that's leaving out a lot of the main girls leaving that we need to transition these other wrestlers in.
Yep.
And they've gotten rid of so many girls, like what is it, Stephanie Steplander, or what is her name? Oh my gosh,
Stephanie
the girl
Vicaire?
with
Vicaire?
no, the girl with the black and white hair. Like
Oh,
we lost so much.
Blair Davenport.
Blair Davenport, like Isla Dawn. We got rid of Indy. Like we got rid of all the NXT people that were supposed to come in and be big, and you got rid of them.
Yes.
You didn't even get rid of main roster. You got rid of them.
Yeah.
So it doesn't, like, they just didn't work well. Like they did not factor them in enough. And then you're bringing like an Alexa Bliss back, and it's like,
is she back? Like, and in what and where's the Wyatt Six? And there's a lot of questions out there. What I'm keeping it positive. I stopped watching WWE in the early to mid 2010s, whatever, because it was really just not clicking for me. Things didn't make sense. I think we were starting to get to the height of the Crazy Ivan version of Vince, where he was just kind of coming in and ripping up scripts and whatever.
Yeah.
But AEW brought me back as a wrestling fan. It was scratching that itch. Even got my wife who hated professional wrestling. She thought it was stupid until she watched AEW, and now she's probably more obsessed than I am. So I have this little back of my head, I'm sure I'm not alone, this fear of WWE kind of going back to its old way, the old ways when it doesn't make sense. But it has gotten so much better with Triple H taking over in this last couple of years. It has gotten so much better. It's been so much more entertaining, and there's such a stacked female roster on both, especially on NXT. I'm nervous about them messing that up. and some of these decisions really just don't make sense. You've got some established talent now on NXT. Just move them up. Whether or not you're
Yeah, I
waiting
don't
to hear.
understand why they're
Yeah.
so scared to push women. Like, I don't, because there's not, I mean, not that the men aren't good, but the men aren't coming up like that anymore. You know what
No.
I mean? Like,
No.
it's just not, they're just not there. They're not entertaining. Like, we've already seen so much. We've seen men wrestling for years now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's been pushed to the highest of highs at this point. Like, that's why women's wrestling is so popular, because
I got a
we're
question
getting
for you.
to a new.
I got a question for you. Besides Joe Hendry, name 3 male TNA wrestlers.
Do the Hardy Boys count? Can I count
Besides
them as
besides the Hardy Boys. All right, that's 2. Okay, name one more.
We have AJ Francis, right?
Okay, all right. Okay, well, okay, there you go. All right, that didn't prove my point. I stand corrected. However, my point I was trying to make, and is the women's division in TNA is more popular. The women, would you say in NXT, is the women's division more popular than the men's division? Not saying it's like one's better than the other, or like, because for every trick there's Obafemi or whatever, there's also Stephanie Vaquer, I think is the star.
Every company except WWE cares about their tag team championships. You know what I mean? Because I feel like TNA has good tag team champions.
Okay, yes. TNA.
You know what I mean? NXT, they're kind of faltering right now, though. I will say Hankin, what is his name? Hankin, whatever, the new 2. I mean, I guess so. But I mean, I think there's a lot newer tag teams that are starting that are going to be good for the men's side of NXT.
Absolutely.
Women's NXT, great roster, solo, and tag team and factions. Their factions are fine. I don't like Fatal Influence, but I think they're a good faction. I think they work well together.
They're a good heel faction, yeah, and they actually do. They enhance Fallon Henley, I think, as the leader. But where's Shotzi? I would have loved the Chemical X versus.
I feel like they're kicking Fallon out too already. A Fatal Influence, which doesn't make sense either. Yeah. Like, where's Fallon getting pushed to? Because I don't think it's to main roster.
I want to get to Vox's point here in a second, but I do want to talk in a little bit too. I wonder if they're trying to make some room for some potential bidding, because they're not so much drafting, but there are some Stardom talent that are coming out as free agents, and maybe this WWID, they got some ideas as well. Vox says, maybe the loyalty to established main rosters, females wrestlers. I want, I'm sure that has something to do with it, especially if like with Charlotte Flair. I'm sure there's some that, they probably have some, they probably have to tread lightly with some of the talent they have on the main roster. However, I get confused because I'm excited for Alexa Bliss's return. And it just kind of, and there's opportunity. I want my Alexa Bliss versus Roxanne Perez match.
I want her versus Julia. I want her versus Stephanie. Like, I want her versus, you know what? I want her versus Tiffany. Like, there's a lot of people that I think, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just about getting the right veteran with these new girls. And I just don't understand why they're not pulling the trigger on it. Like, it's okay to have 4 women's matches and 3 men's matches. Like, it's okay to have, like, the women take over for a little bit, because at this point, who else do y'all got that's entertaining us on the men's side at this point? I'm not entertained at this point.
I mean, the only person that on the men's side that's really, I find entertaining is actually from TNA.
Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry.
But admit that spot, even though it was almost a squash, that spot with Randy Orton was pretty cool. when
Yeah,
and then
he
Randy
deserved
Orton
that
did
match. I think they both did good. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that was good for Randy. Like Randy not being a crazy young guy anymore has been really good,
Yeah, he's kind of
honestly.
an old fogey now. He's kind
Yeah,
of one of the older guys
exactly.
now. That's pretty funny. But yeah, because the thing is this, I've wanted the Lash Legend Rhea Ripley match, but that's no reason to break Metaphor up.
Mhm.
You can
At
still
all.
have that match, with Rhea Ripley. And of course, Rhea's still going after Io Sky, and that goes back to Trenda's earlier thing about the versatility. That match, Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Io Sky, you did have a mix of styles. Granted, Bianca and Rhea, I wouldn't say they're exactly similar, but they're much more powerhouse female
Mhm.
wrestlers. Whereas Io, she floats like a butterfly, stings like a bee. I mean, she's
Mhm.
doing all that, and I thought that was a tremendous match. D'Angelo family is intriguing me. Hey, okay.
Yeah, they
That
are. Their argument
didn't they
right now is
kill one of their own?
entertaining.
Didn't somebody get whacked?
I don't know. They met in the desert. I don't know what that means. I don't know
I
if
thought he
it's like
got whacked. I thought the guy that looks kind of like MJF whacked him. I don't know. There's one guy that kind of reminds me of MJF a little bit, but anyways, we'll have to find out what's going on with that. But yeah, I get frustrated when they break up. Vox is like, yeah, you plead the fifth on this. Hey, Vox probably knows more than he wants to say. Vox is like, yeah, there's no Costa Nostra. There's no yeah, what do you mean? The D'Angelo family, they're on the up and up, if you know what I mean. There's no mafia at all. Joe Hendry got attacked by the Dark State earlier. Okay.
Yeah, they're right now on I'm watching the CW. I'm watching it right now.
Yep.
What is it? Hank and Tank? That's her name, right? They're in the
Yeah.
they're in the
Well, there's
is
a
it
tag. Yeah, there's a good
they're in
tag.
the med room with Joe Henry right now, but the Roxanne and Julia versus Io and Jordan is coming
Mm-hmm.
up. Which same
Yeah.
with Jordan, are they gonna keep her down there in NXT or we're gonna move her on up too?
I
Cause
think
same
Jordan. Yeah, I think you keep Jordan. Yeah, Grace. You keep her. You keep her in NXT for a while because you don't want to. You want her to. She's a good veteran to be there, and
Mhm.
she needs to have that power. She needs to get that moment too where she gets the gold. I honestly, I mean, selfishly, I want them all. I'd love to see them all in the main roster because there's so many matchups I want to see. But I almost
Yeah.
think you want to keep Vicaire. You want to keep a lot of these in NXT so that like Roxanne, Miss Parker, I think could go to main roster. Fallon Henley to main roster. Put the ladies that have been there for a minute on the main roster, sink or swim. But I mean, there
I don't
there are
think
ladies
I
that are
don't
ready.
think I don't think Fallon's where they want her to be, where they have moved her
Could
up. I
be.
don't think popularity wise, like
Mm-hmm.
NXT, yes, but I don't think main roster just yet. I don't think
Okay,
she's
that's fair.
I don't think she's there yet. Jada Parker, I think they can move her up, but I'm just thinking like I think with her character, maybe they'll have to move her to a baby face so she can be like she can find someone to work with. Because they have a lot of heels right now. I don't see the point in moving up a heel Jada
Would you?
Parker.
I don't know. See. Here's the thing about Jada Parker. She's not a heel. She's a heel character that is over, and like people every time I think of Jada, I think of that dude that was watching her butt, and then she got smacked on it, and he fainted. You ever see that clip? That dude cracks me up.
Yeah, no,
He
she's
was like, "Oh,"
like
and then she gets
yeah, the
smacked in the butt.
entertainment
And he
is
goes,
there for
"But
sure.
Jada, imagine this. Imagine um talking trash, and imagine like Charlotte Flair or somebody talking trash in the middle of the ring,
Oh,
and then
she'd
you
be good
hear
against Charlotte.
Jada's theme, the crowd will pop. The crowd will definitely pop. I mean, the crowd popped when Vicaire came out on Raw, so
Yes, I
that was
definitely yes.
that
I
was
think
really
there's
cool.
a lot. I think with those girls, like I definitely think they're ready to get moved up, but I think the way they're slowly moving them up is better because they
Okay.
do this with Indy. They didn't do this with, like any of the other girls,
Which is interesting because Indy Hartwell just
Mhm.
signed with TNA. So
Mhm.
she's kind of
Still
back in,
under the umbrella.
yeah,
Yeah.
she's in the umbrella. She's kind of back there. I did want to, we're just to update everybody. I think Nahir's power is out. And
Okay.
so she's kind of going
Well,
through
Angel
some,
had the same problem, remember?
yeah. There's definitely some electricity drama going on right now,
Yes.
but hopefully if
Road.
it doesn't look like it's going to get resolved, we'll reschedule and bring her back on. We had some really cool segments planned involving her, including some trivia call on it's Puerto Rican wrestling trivia that we'll have to have you guys fill you guys in on. Also, this Thursday at our regular show, the ladies from Meet Us in the Ring podcast are going to be back on with us, and I think we're going to have both of them on at the same time, so that's going to be really cool. But we're working on something that that Dora knows about, and we've reached out to the right people, but we're working on something very special that's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a weekly thing that it's going to involve several wrestling podcasts. And it's going to be, in fact, I don't want to bring it up, but it's going to be a surprise, but we're going to announce it soon. And it's going to be very special, but it's also going to honor a philosophy from a person that we've lost, that we all want to continue to keep that flame going.
Yes.
And I'm super excited, but it's also going to be a lot of fun. And, it's going to be great to have you guys a part of this as well. And so you don't want to miss that announcement. We might be announcing it this Thursday. I actually have word that a certain thing that was ordered is on its way to our offices, and so it's good. And from what I can
Can't
tell,
wait.
it's going to be pretty awesome.
You need to record it with the flash and send it
Yes,
to me.
yes,
You gotta have
absolutely.
flash. Remember the flash.
Yeah, right. Exactly, exactly. The Flash. But we've got that going for us. We're gonna have, of course, all the news of women's wrestling coming up. But just to touch on some things, because right now in the mix, they just announced. They announced Tony Storm has got an exhibition match tomorrow against Miyu. I think it's not what Yamashita. Miyu Yamashita is going to be wrestling tomorrow against Tony Storm, timeless Tony Storm. And some people have been kind of upset about that, but that here we're having this whole Owen Hart tournament, but then Miyu Yamashita is getting to overstep the whole thing. But I think that's you got to have a fighting champion, and the whole thing about the Owen Hart Cup tournament, it's to get a shot at the title at All In. It may not be Tony Storm as champion at that point. It may be somebody else, but just to kind of
you don't want her to stop, even if we know she's not gonna lose these matches, it's still good to see her still compete every week.
Yes.
I know people want her to be on commentary probably every week watching these people wrestle, but at the same time, let her still get in the ring for a little bit. Let her do some random tag matches with somebody.
Yep.
Just push other people while we're waiting on this too.
Absolutely. And that's the thing too. You want a fighting champion, because the other side of it is, oh, we don't have a fighting champion. Once you win the title, are you just going to sit there and and talk? This is something we want to give some due coverage later on, but there were in addition to several Stardom wrestlers leaving, Mako Satomura had a retirement match. It was a lot of people, including some WWE talent like Kairi Sane, Asuka, Shinsuke Nakamura. They did a video package for her. She had this great retirement match. It was like her last match, and she's legendary. She's been wrestling for decades. But they also have Thekla has left. The toxic Thekla or what have you. She's and she just recently had it was
Oh yeah,
pictured
I
with
saw
Julia.
that.
So I'm wondering if
They
she's heading
fired
that
her.
way. Yep.
Yeah.
And then there's and then I think Watanabe. Let's see. I had the list here. There's a lot. There's a big list of people that are leaving. Mina Shirakawa is already officially all elite now.
Oh, I know this is supposed to be women, but Alberto Del Rio
yes,
randomly, was at a show. Remember, Angel
yep,
told us like super random, but that lets me know he definitely got let go from AAA. I
yeah.
feel if he's,
Well,
yeah, they definitely were like, get rid of him. He's not.
it's interesting that AAA, the whole stuff, and it's one of those things where we don't know for sure the behind the scenes. But it's like I thought it was funny that it actually made Angel Marie cheer the other guy. What's the guy?
She doesn't even like Armani Sage.
Armani Sage. She had to
like,
cheer
yeah,
Armani Sage.
She
She was so mad. She was mad that she had to cheer Armani Sage. I thought that was hilarious that she had to cheer him. It makes me wonder though, because Conan, from what I think Conan had a lot to do with the Lucha Brothers and Tony Khan souring on each other, because I think he got in their ear a little bit. Now, I'm not saying that Tony Khan Tony Khan, for all his positives, I do think there's a couple things that he bite him in the foot. One is I think he doesn't like confrontation, but the other thing is it seems like if he feels like you're against him, he kind of gets funny about it. And
yeah, it's egos.
Yeah,
Egos when
and
you have
that's
money.
you got to have an ego to be in this business, I'm sure. But I think that this whole AAA thing is interesting. I just hope that WWE doesn't poach. Allows AAA and NXT and these other companies to thrive as part of this umbrella, rather than like a vampire sucking out all the good talent.
Have you ever seen the show Dubai Bling?
I have not. Explain
Okay,
that.
so it's a reality TV show from Netflix, but basically I feel like in watching that show, in watching like Young, Rich, and African, like those shows, I feel like they're all at a level of money that they're not greedy. It's just very ego driven where they're at. Because I think that's kind of where we're at with like the wrestling companies also right now. I don't think it's very much greed. I think it's just an ego thing. That's why these prices are going up like crazy. All of that
Oh my goodness.
solely because it's an ego. Because okay, this is my example. Because in the show, there's this guy and this girl, right? This guy runs restaurants. He's got money by himself. His mom is American and his dad, I just know they're all from Dubai. So they're like Pakistani, they're Afghan, they're like kind of everything from that side of the world. There's another lady who runs this company. And basically they were fighting, I think season 1 and season 2, right? They like showed me a new level of like petty rich that I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know this was possible. So basically what they did was they both have money, right? So when they were having their little spat where they were like feuding with each other, the girl was trying to open like another branch of her company, right? But she doesn't actually own the name to her company. So what this guy did was he has a little bit more money, I would say. He went and bought her company behind her back so that she couldn't have it. And then all of this most recent season that dropped, he basically held it over her and her husband's head. You can buy the rights back. I'll sign the rights over, but you have to say sorry. So that's why I'm like, it's an ego thing once you get to a certain level of money. Yeah. For them, it's not about the money. It's about the ego. It's about the power part of this. That's kind of where I think we're at with like Tony, with Triple H. Like, I think we're at not a money grab. We're all kind of just suffering from it, but it's an ego thing. Same thing like, with the rest of the world right now. It's very much people who want to be in power that probably shouldn't be at the level they're at just yet, or putting their hands in certain pots.
Lot of egos. That makes sense. Well, Folks, we're going to hop off. It doesn't look like Hola Hola is going to be able to say Hola Hola.
Yes.
I just got a message. Oh, she says she's getting ready.
Okay, perfect.
So maybe she actually is going to be able to join us after all. So, because again, the power outages have been kind of an issue.
Crazy. Yeah, the internet outages too.
Absolutely. I also, let's see if we can pull this. Oh, by the way, we still are working on this. We had to delay it till after WrestleMania, but we're still working on setting this up. But I want to remind everybody that this is still going down. Angel Marie versus Ash Benny. It's still going down.
Do it my way.
The angel teeth is so crazy to me.
Yeah,
I don't know why they did that.
We tried to get her to record an actual, like I used AI for that, but we tried to get her to record a green screen thing, but we were having similar technical difficulties, but we're gonna get it. We're gonna get it going. We do. I guess we could kind of unofficially give a Cali report, but we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, this is gonna be cool because both Ash and Angel are incredible at picking out
music,
wrestling themes. Let us know what wrestling themes you want us to play. We want to try to keep it female wrestling themes because this is Mission Pro Spotlight. But I already have the right here in my hand. It's still in its packaging.
Is that a tiara?
No, it's not tiara. These are the golden headphones, which is the prize. Of course, we'll present these when we just like you present a belt. We're going to be presenting those when we get to this matchup that between Ash and Angel. You got to make sure you hit the notifications for when that comes up. It'll possibly be on Tuesday. Some Mission Pro updates for you, as much as I am allowed to tell you, because there's a lot I can't get into. Dora, of course, was part of. Were you part of the podcast or just listening to the podcast where Thunder kind of tipped her hand a little bit of what some things are in the works involving a certain native beast and a few other things? Or did you hear about that?
I don't think I was. No, I didn't. No.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Were you on a podcast with that?
No. We had to. There was like a conversation.
Okay. All right. Well, there's things like we can't talk about. That are in, and it's very, very, it would be premature for us to say that Mission Pro is on its way back soon. It would be premature to say that because there's a lot running a promotion, as there's so many cogs in the wheel. There's so many pieces. Those of you that have been following the United 210 stuff, craziness, sometimes you could be running a venue for 3 years, and then all of a sudden somebody wants a piece. It gets popular, and somebody wants a piece of it.
Piece of the pie. That's frustrated me because they've been doing that for so long.
It's part of the community.
It doesn't. I don't understand why it has to be zoned a certain type of way, especially, I guess, because it's backyard. I mean, if their insurance company says it's okay, I don't understand why the city's not okay with it.
Yeah,
I'm a building inspector, and I feel like there's certain companies that cover certain things that the way they're running it is actually very safe and perfect. They have everything they're supposed to have.
They're to code.
As far as safety for other people, like, I definitely would approve them. However, you know what I mean? Like, if I had to do their stuff. So.
Yeah, I think it's very frustrating. Of course, we don't know the full details, but but United 210, they're being very upfront about it. A lot of the stuff that they're saying, it seems like it's somebody just decided they want a piece or whatever, or ego, as we're talking about, and complained, and now there's a big issue with it. But make sure you do the hashtag, the hashtag we are wrestling and hashtag keep United 210 in the yard, because even though they could try to move to another venue, they shouldn't have to. They've been doing this for 3 years without issue. This shouldn't be an issue, and hopefully they'll be able to get that back going. But I use that as an example because there's a lot of things that a lot of T's you have to cross, I's dotted. Things are moving forward with Mission Pro. That's all I got to say is it's moving forward. But as to say a date and time or to say, anything other than keep the faith, true believers, Mission Pro, at least in spirit, will be back. It's going to happen. Just
this is what so I'm watching the Roxanne and Julia against Jordan and Io. They need women that can work with anybody, because these are women that can work with anybody, because they have the experience, because they were all in different companies. You know what I mean? They were in different wrestling companies. So we need to have girls like this, women like this that have been in wrestling, like I said, working with the Kalanis, working with the Jada Parkers, working with the Lola Vice. Like we need to have them paired with somebody.
I gotta share with everybody. This was actually from. I have another podcast I do Thursday nights, late evening, 10 o'clock Eastern. Dynamite Download. We focus specifically on AEW, but I'm kind of like the unofficial go-to for the women's matches because of my affiliation with Mission Pro. But I went on a bit of a rant. This was on our YouTube shorts, but I'm going to play that real quick. I think that Chris Statlander is a paragon of what you're talking about. That wrestler that can work with anybody. And I actually think she is the female best bout machine. So I'm going to play just a clip of my rant here, and let us know what you think in the chat. This is from Dynamite Download. Officially declare it right now. Chris Statlander is the best bout machine in the women's division of AEW. She is the best bout machine. She can put on a banger with anybody. Chris Statlander, she is the female Kenny Omega. I'm not saying style. She's not out there doing V-triggers and one-wing angels, but you put her with Mercedes, you put her with Julia, you put her with Harley Cameron, you put her with any female talent, both of them are going to shine. She is a guaranteed banger machine. Chris Statlander, you are the best bout machine in the AEW women's division. And I believe that. I believe that because she is that wrestler that they need in AEW as well as WWE that can wrestle anybody. Chris Statlander versus Nia Jax, banger. Chris Statlander versus Tiffany Stratton, banger. Chris Statlander versus Charlotte Flair, banger. Now, I'm not trying to encourage WWE to start making a play for Chris Statlander. Don't take her away from AEW. But if that happened, she would blow up. I mean, she would be, and you would put Chris Statlander versus Rhea Ripley would be on my bucket list if that were to happen.
Raquel thinks she is, but she's not her.
No, you make a very good point. I want to like Raquel, and I thought before she disappeared for a while, I thought that's where she was heading, but there is such a thing as it too soon when you come back to get the rust off. And I don't, and Liv leaving. I just really think a lot of this is this. I'm kind of circling back to our original point. I don't understand. I really don't understand them not dropping the belts.
Raquel cannot carry those belts by herself.
No way.
Even for a week, no one's gonna care. They're gonna be like, "What is she doing?" You know what I mean?
Unless Liv is doing a 1-day filming, which that's not happening.
Yeah.
I don't understand that at all. And I was frustrated. Say what you want about Mercedes Moné, Sasha Banks at the time when she and Trinity had the tag titles and they walked off with them, they dropped them off. I understand their frustration because it doesn't feel like the tag team titles are getting the love it deserves. You know, I mean, it's almost like kind of an afterthought. Yeah, okay. Vox says, I like her music gear, but her bodyguard gimmick to live now. I personally respect her as a wrestler. I respect her too. I want her to be successful. I want all of these ladies to be successful except for maybe one. But I mean, I want everybody to be successful. There, you know, we don't have to talk about that one. But yeah, I do think that there's I think there's something not clicking with that. Yeah, he says the gimmick is stale. Yeah. You know
Yeah,
what?
we already got a strong Rhea. We already got a strong Jordan. We already got a strong Jade. We already got a strong
Mhm.
we got all the strong ladies we need. You know, I think at this point, Raquel
What?
needs to
Mhm.
go some kind of route. I don't know. Maybe pair her with Zelina. I don't know, but move
Okay.
her around.
All right. Let's talk about Zelina winning the United States Championship over Chelsea. I think that Chelsea Green is WWE's Tony Storm right now, where timeless Tony Storm. Like, I think that Chelsea Green, her personality, she is lightning in a bottle. This character of that she is, don't you don't want to mess with it. Like I can see like a Raquel, all these other people, you want to give her lines, you want to coach and all this on the promos. You need to let Chelsea be Chelsea. I love Zelina, and I really wanted her. I actually wanted her to win the Intercontinental or something, you know. But and I'm happy for her. I'm proud of her for this. And you know, whether or not this was just a deal for Malachi Alistair Black to do, what have you. And you can run with this. You can make this a good thing. And I think that Zelina, there's a lot of people excited, like myself, excited for Zelina, a little tiny Zelina. When they raise her hand
Make
and she
this
gets,
a start to intergender matches.
there you
You
go.
know?
There you go. You know, and if that's the case, and I know she said on Van Vliet she didn't want to do it, but if you ever get a chance to go back and check out Chelsea Green versus Penta,
Oh, I want to see that so
and
bad.
you
And
know
then
that,
him versus Io, there's so many
do you,
people I want Penna to go. So many
do you know
women
what the
I
first thing
want Penna to go
You know what
against.
the first thing Penta said when he saw Chelsea backstage at WWE? We run it back,
Why?
yes?
Right, cause yeah, let's
Yeah.
run it back.
Oh,
Yes.
oh my goodness. Can you
I just
imagine?
feel like there's so many, I think even these wrestlers that come from other companies that have wrestled with women, you know what I mean? They've been intergender. They know how to do intergender. Have them start the process of men versus.
Yes. Overbooking by Mindrunner. I got an idea. You put Zelina in a faction with Penta and Ray,
Mhm.
right? You put them in a faction. Now, granted, she's Puerto Rican and, you know, Penta and Ray, you know, Mexican, but still, you know, you put them in a faction. And then Chelsea Green, in order to get her rematch with Zelina Vega for the United States title, has to wrestle Penta.
And be
And
Penta.
and then we get our Penta versus Chelsea Green match. And again, in WWE, that's what, can you imagine? That would be a run. They're going to run it back from the Indies. Oh,
They need to use the people they're getting from
yeah.
different companies, like use them how they've been used before.
Hold on a second.
Honestly.
I am getting a message from the Puerto Rican National Wrestling Society. They are saying they've reviewed my application for Pagao versus Con, and so they are now officially allowing access to La Chica de la Hola Hola Nahir to join us here. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's bring our guest at this time. Hey, hello.
Hey, hi.
The fact that I got in the moment I heard Chelsea Green and Penta, I was just like,
I saw your face.
That was crazy, but it's great though. I love that idea. Like I'm game for it.
I don't know if you heard before he got on. We were talking about how the first thing that Penta said when he saw Chelsea backstage was, "You want to run it back?" You know, from their indie thing. And Chelsea says she doesn't, but money.
He
Money.
did an interview recently too where he said he wants to run it back with Chelsea, and Chelsea was like, "All right, we can do it." You know,
Let's
almost
go.
like, let's do it.
Take my money. Take my money. See, that's what WWE needs to do.
That's money right there. That's from I think it was from Lucha Underground, right?
Yes. Oh my goodness, that's just great. By the way, Hola merch. Make sure you wear your Hola merch. You go to prowrestlingtees.com. Get your Hola shirts. All kinds of cool merch out there. You want to make sure you catch it up. But we are here to catch up with Nahir. But we were just talking about how we're talking about who's getting brought up to the main roster. Is there an issue? We want to talk about. You've got an awesome tag team. We'll talk a little bit about. But it is time to catch up with Hola, and we've actually got some things for you to look at. This is Hola catching up with Nahir. We'll see how you do. First of all, this is a good look for you. We got Miss Hola 2 belts.
You know what's sad? I'm missing the Queen of Maryland trophy.
Yes.
Because
Ooh.
I can't, like, I haven't been able to bring it back home. So right now it's in New York. The Queen of Maryland tournament trophy is in New York.
I got a photo
crazy.
coming up. I got a photo coming up with you holding it, but we could Photoshop it into this photo.
I like that.
You can have it in the background there. But first of all, before we get into this, how the heck are you? How you doing? And are you living the Pagao life?
I will always live the Pagao life, even though my tag partner is Team Concon. Let's just start right out the bat because she was in that match.
I can't believe. Well, you got to teach their own.
Pagao. Yeah. I agree. We both agree to disagree.
That's awesome. Well, let's talk a little bit. First of all, let's talk about your tag team partners here. The baseball babes, if you will. What's
the Major League Blondes?
The Major League Blondes. I love it because it's got that Hollywood blondes, but it's also got the sports thing to it too. It totally fits y'all's personality. I mean, and just look at the smile on your face in both these. Well, the second one, is that a smile or a grunt? I'm not sure. But the one on the left, you guys are just cheesing in a good way, and it's great. You just seem to have found a tag team partner that's a good soulmate in the ring. What do you think?
I love JC Storm. JC's been wrestling for longer than I have. She's been around for like at least 11 countries. She did her little tour in Japan, and she also had one in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
I think she also did Europe already once. So I think it's funny in a way because I always joke that she's like the very confident like husband, and I'm like the nervous wreck wife.
That's so funny.
I am like legit. I called her the other day. She wasn't answering. I'm like, "Where are you?" and she's legit at a baseball game. Like, mind you, she's at a freaking baseball game, and I'm just here nervous wreck. And I'm like, "Why are you abandoning me?"
Where are you? You haven't checked in yet.
That's legit. I was like, haven't heard from you all day. Where are you?
That's funny. That is hilarious. Do you guys incorporate baseballs and baseball bats into your matches?
So we have a little thing. We say that there's a tag move we do where we do like a cheese spot where we usually just trip the opponent. We put them in the ropes. Mm-hmm. And while she's giving them a bicycle, I'm running for a back hip attack. But while we're doing this, we say, "Hey, batter, batter, hey, batter, batter." Swing.
That's so cute.
Hey, batter, 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 swing, batter.
Boom. We do like a lot of like we do the we call the move, we do like the cutter, then suplex. We call it the the Grand Slam.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Perfect. Yeah, it's a perfect name. It's out of here.
Say every time we finish the promos, we say "catch ya later."
that's cute. Oh my gosh, these
Nice.
are great
There's a
phrases.
lot
I
of
love
like
puns.
As long as
crazy
y'all don't
puns
start.
about that. And then we'll have like a blonde moment, like in the ring, like I'm not supposed to tag her, and I'll be like, "Wait, no, I can't tag you." Oh my god, blonde moment. That'll. And the thing is, if you look at the acronym of the Major League Blondes, is MLB, like Major League Baseball. It's a wordplay.
Blondes. Love it. Love it. That's genius. That's fantastic. And as long as you don't start chewing tobacco and spitting like the
No, we're not doing that. Nuh-uh.
That's not
No.
that doesn't fit the blondes part of the whole thing.
No, we're already blonde. We already made a bad decision. We're already blonde.
We're already getting a request, and I agree with Courtney. We need to get JC Storm on here at some point, and maybe eventually.
Y'all haven't had her before?
We had not on Spotlight yet. No, we haven't.
Okay,
but that we've got to make that happen.
We interviewed her with We Love Wrestling. I was the one that interviewed her with Trey.
Oh,
I remember
nice.
that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She's awesome. Excellent stuff. Definitely Pagao, not Con. Well, even though she's Con allegedly, but
no, she is. She is. That's how we met, though.
Oh, really? How did that happen?
Yeah, we met in the Latin Rice Supremacy match. She was the female competitor for Team Con.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Cool.
And of course, Pagao is supreme. But we can digress from that. Let's speaking of championships, though, there's the beautiful right there, the Queen of Maryland. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, the Queen of Maryland.
And look at you there with the crown and the trophy. So proud, and I love those spider leggings too.
I was gonna say I love those leggings. Those are so cute. Those little tights.
Okay. The funny thing about my fishnets is 99% of the time I don't know where they're from, because when I started wrestling, my first like big debut match in Puerto Rico, my fishnets broke. Okay, so my butt was all out. And I didn't know any better. I didn't have tights underneath. It was
underneath it.
No, I was just butt out, whatever. and then a fan writes to me, "Hey, you wouldn't be offended if I sent you like a pair of like fishnets, right?" Every couple months, he sends me like a big package with at least 30 new pairs of new fishnets.
Thoughtful.
That's so cool.
And this has been going on for like 2 years.
That's so nice. Oh my gosh.
So I'm like, I am so grateful for this person. I'm like, the fact that I never ask him for anything. He just literally, like, I get a package and I'm like, oh, he got
like, I got you, girl. Don't worry. Never again will this happen to you. That's what he said.
Yeah, I have been spoiled with the gift of fishnets, unlimited fishnets.
That is incredible. I hope he works for like a company like that or something, and he's not just running into Walmart and snagging some or something like that. But that is fantastic. Chad is in agreement. So sweet. Pepe, of course. By the way, every time I see Pepe, I have to hydrate because that is his. That's his acronym there. The other 2 championships, though. What are the other 2 belts? And you have those with you there, right?
Yes, I do.
Oh, look at that 2-belt, Nahir. I love it.
So this is the Warriors of Wrestling Women's Championship.
Oh, so cool.
The title held by Melina, WWE ID prospect Zeta Steele. Was also held by Nyla Rose. It was held by a good friend of mine, Angel Metro, and I took it off of Vicious Vicky.
Oh, nice.
So cool. It's so pretty. That's such a nice
title has been like, it's like a lot of like big shoes to fit in.
Well,
because of all these women. Nyla defended it in Japan. I defended it in Puerto Rico like a couple weeks ago. I'm gonna defend it again in May 18th. I'm wrestling twice that day. I'm going crazy. And then, ironically, the day I'm defending this belt, it's when I have been a year as the Warrior Breed Wrestling Women's Championship.
Look at that.
Which was the first title I ever won.
And still.
And still.
So it's crazy. I will be defending the Warriors of Wrestling the same day I became Warrior Breed Wrestling Women's Champion. That is crazy.
I'm trying to think.
So fun.
Warriors of Wrestling. Didn't Athena have the title? Have the Warriors of Wrestling title at one point?
I think Nikki Adams had it. I think I know Zeta had it. Angel Metro had it. Nyla had it. Trying to think who else had it. Because I'm number 17. I'm the 17th holder.
Okay.
We're a little funny about Zeta Steele right now, though, because after what she did to our BFF Izzy Moreno, but we'll get over it.
Well, technically, I mean, I think we should know how Zeta is, though. I think Zeta is a great competitor, and she's the kind of person that will take out someone that she seems as competition. And even though I don't agree with the method, we know she's the real deal after all.
That's true. That's true. So yes, looks like this was okay. Zeta Steele, Nikki Adams, Melina. Yep, Nyla Rose, 2-time champion.
Yeah, she lost it in Japan and then she gained it back.
All right. Nyla Rose, we'd love to see her back at Mission Pro. Perhaps we could book that Mission Pro match, Nyla versus Nahir. I wonder if
I would love that.
That would be an incredible, incredible match. I think we need to see. Let us know in the chat if you think that's a match you would like to see. Another one of those take my money matches. But you've had some other tag teams, and I got to tell you, if you're not following La Chica de Hola Hola on Instagram or Twitter, you are missing out, and your captions on these two photos are sending me. Nahir is not only one of the coolest wrestlers out there, rising stars, and she's crushing it. She's super busy right now in a good way, but also she kills me with the stuff that she posts. I mean, she posts some really good motivational stuff too. And we have a quote that's very motivational at the end that you had posted, but you're killing me with this. Like, you're calling the tag team Hump and Dump Truck.
Because Sassy does a spot where she literally humps the person. So in my head, I thought of like slangs I've heard in movies. Like it's terrible though, the slang I remembered. It's usually like what a jock would say to his friends about a girl. She's a hump and dump kind of girl. Well, no, it's a hump and dump truck, baby. You don't dump it.
And the other quote, friends let their friends be gay as F. and the smile on your face is just, it's like, yes, that's, I love it.
But it was funny because that day, I think somebody asked her for her phone number. So that was funny. She has an aura. She has an aura. She is a magnet.
Yep. She is. Was it a female that asked for a number?
Or was it a man?
I think it was a girl.
Oh, good. Okay,
well, there you go.
That's what we wanted then. Yes.
There you go.
That was the targeted audience.
Friends let friends be gay AF.
I love it. I think that's fantastic. Continue. So make sure you're following her on Instagram because it's your quotes are fantastic.
I love how witty you are. You're so good with you're quick with it too.
Don't forget.
I don't know how to come up with these names. I don't even know what's wrong with me. Like I really be like, and then it just hits like right there, and I'm like, why am I like this? But it's perfect. It works.
Don't change. Please
it's
don't
hard
change.
Being funny, friend. It's hard. Hard in this life.
You are meant for this business. You're meant for us to make us smile and to entertain. You are exactly where you need to be in this universe. Please do not change. I love it. And let's not forget, there's models turned actresses, there's models turned wrestlers. You're still doing your model thing, and hot girls love pro wrestling. And the baby face beanie as well, or it's and
Where's the baby face beanie from? Is it the same?
They're both from K-Tape Clothing. They're both from he has the baby face. I have both, ironically. I have the baby face one and the heel one.
Okay.
And I also have the heel jacket because when I started, I was mostly heel. I told him as a joke that he should make one that says tweener. Because I think that embodies me more.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm kind of, some people go both ways. You are gimmick fluid, if you
Yes,
will,
I'm
right?
very gimmick fluid.
You're gimmick fluid. That's a
I'm
good
gonna
way to
say that
put it.
in June.
Yeah, you're gonna have to use
it's
that.
June,
Yes, gimmick fluid.
the
Save
month
that.
of being gimmick fluid, guys.
Yeah, we're gonna
Yes.
be gimmick fluid this
Yes.
month. Exactly.
Yeah.
I like I like on the right. There's almost a Jeff Hardy vibe there a little bit with the
I found that shirt like I know actually the person who took these pictures is kind of the reason why I even began training.
Really?
Oh, really?
Sounds like there's a story here.
that when I posted the picture of the WWE live show back in 2019, he was the person that asked me, why don't you go to shows in Puerto Rico? And I said, because if I do, I will ask somebody to train me. And then he messaged me and he's like, I know of a wrestling school that's close to you.
I love that.
So this is like a kind of like a full circle moment right there.
Yeah.
So you got it. Yeah, of course. But here's the thing: is you're going to get now. You've got the connection. You're going to get great photos, in your gear and everything. So yeah, these are the connections you need to continue.
I feel like I got lucky in the sense that I had really good like photo connections because of the modeling like persona. Like it even happened the other day. I was in Atlantic, like kind of like near Atlantic City because I had a show in Woodbury that's like 40 minutes away. And I accidentally ran into the Miss America statue.
Accidentally?
Accidentally.
No, I didn't even know it was there. I was just walking in the boardwalk and I'm with a friend. And I'm like, you're kidding me. And he's like, what? And I'm like, I did this pageant like a lifetime ago. He's like,
Wow.
nah, you're joke, because he's a wrestler. And I'm like, no, I'm not kidding. I did this pageant a lifetime ago. And he looks at me, what do you mean? And then I had the pictures.
Like,
I found the pictures. And I'm like, oh, there's something you don't know about me. And then I was like,
this is where I got all my grace from in the ring. Yeah. That's awesome. That's fantastic. I love it.
So I had to take the picture literally on the statue, like with the girl putting the crown on it. I was like,
oh, that's fantastic. Oh, and the with the flowers and the flower.
Yeah.
Do you find
and that was a joke I had when I won the Queen of Maryland. I literally said to somebody, not even in my pageant days, I cried this much.
Not even my F1.
Of course, the first big tournament I had to win was Queen of something.
Of course. You got to win the Queen of the Ring.
The universe wanted to remind you.
Yes, that was the universe coming out and saying, "Hey, remember your roots, and this is for you." First of all, gear on the left. The gear you're wearing on the left, I think, is fantastic. That I love that gear.
I'm suffering. I actually ended up. That was my first gear ever. I actually ended up selling it to like a very like it's a fan that has been like supporting me since the beginning,
but not sending you.
And he remembered the gear. He really liked that gear, and I'm like, you know what? I think it's time to sell it. I hadn't worn it in a while, but like that picture is actually from 2023. I hadn't even graduated from wrestling school. Like Nietzsche's a vet. Like Nietzsche's like a Puerto Rican legend. Like he's a vet that has been working for the long. If you look at Nietzsche's matches, that man can go.
Mm-hmm.
That man can go. He's charismatic. He's funny. And he was the first person that I ever shared the ring with. We had a tag match together that he told me, I'm gonna let you like free. No, I'm gonna let you walk as far as you want to. And what he meant by that is that he knew like people were limiting me a lot when I started, and he's like, I'm not here for this.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna let you
That's really
fly
cool.
in your own terms, and if you want to stop, I'll help you. And that was one of my first like matches where I started feeling like people were giving me an opportunity. He was one of the first people that did that for me.
And see, you
That's
remember
what we were
that
talking
too.
about with the
Yeah.
mentor thing. With
Yeah.
exactly, yeah.
We were talking just before you got on about the different ways that veteran female wrestlers mentor or don't mentor in some cases
Yeah.
the young talent in like pairing people up. And doesn't have to be female. You could have, like in your case with me, a male female. But like we were curious about, like with the Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton thing, where Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria, you want to have those veterans. You want to push, or you want to give the wrestlers all the opportunity to, like you said, I love that, walk as far as you want. That's such a great analogy, because if you get in trouble, I'm there to help, but I'm not going to stifle you either. That's such a great philosophy.
And like, he wasn't even one of my trainers. I met him when I was interviewing. He wasn't in, like, he's not part of my wrestling school. My wrestling school brought him in, and he had decided to, like, that's the first thing he said to me, which is crazy. Like, I feel like, in a sense, for the longest time, I thought like nobody believed in me, and then these little like glimpses of like good faith of people that have been in the business longer than I have. Nietzsche, for example, it's crazy.
That's just like bumping into the Miss Universe sign or the Miss America sign. That's that little nod from the universe saying you're on the right path. And then you go and sit on some poor guy's chest and break his
He's
windpipe.
actually one of my trainers. That's the funny thing. I feel like lately I have been on a rampage against my trainers. First Action Jackson, and now Macho Navarro. Like, I have just been nonstop, like, nah, bro, we're not doing this. Like, no. Like, why do you all want to fight me? Let's fucking go. Let's go.
Yeah,
and then
there's a price you pay.
He's currently doing this weird wrestling love story with this girl. Her name is Daisy Lynn, and they're like this weird, obnoxious, like wrestling couple kind of in the ring. It's a weird thing they got going on, and I'm like, I just said, I remember as a joke, Puerto Rico can't handle another love story in wrestling, please.
No more.
Please.
That's funny.
Let's kill it. Awesome. And this looked like the Avengers or the Suicide Squad here. This was quite the team.
Suicide Squad vibes. You know what? I see it. So that was the show where it was an 8 women match. I think that's one of the few times in history. It's like, and it wasn't a rumble. Like, that's the thing. Like, it was one of the few matches I think in Puerto Rican wrestling history that had so many women on it.
Nice.
So that was my team, and then there was the other team.
And now, was it a costume theme, or is this their actual gear? Because you're already wearing your Holly.
And that's my Major League Blonde shirt. I was never in gear. I was never in like costumes in myself. That's their actual outfits. So it was a funny, like mixed up, matched up, like, but like opposites attract, kind of like
misfits.
A vibe we had going on there.
Yep, I love it. Oh, Pepe approves. By the way, Pepe loves it. We got, looks like on the far right, you got Lara Croft, and we've got the Major League Blonde, and looks like Angel Mysterio, and then Toxic Avenger on the far left. That's so rad looking too. And we were talking too.
So the one on the left, my left. Not the one that's next to me in the picture on the other side. Her name is Bitterness. She's currently a double champion in Puerto Rico. She's a CWA and GCW champion. She goes alongside with her manager, whose name is Lilix. So it's a women's faction.
Nice.
Like that.
Luna's been wrestling. Like she just started out. She's currently like doing her steps slowly but surely. And then the one on the floor, the Lara Croft, I used to call her, like, when we were wrestling against each other, I would just call her Team Impossible because she used to come out with like green pants and like
Cargo
a black
pants.
shirt. But now it's more Lara Croft. She's wrestling for like kind of like over a year now. She's actually gonna wrestle Natalia Perez on June 8th in Puerto Rico for the Espiritu Pro Wrestling Dojo title. So like
Awesome.
it's an interesting team you got there.
Yeah, I do. Luna, is that her hair? Does she have like almost like Bianca Belair ponytail kind of thing going on, or is that?
No, that's her real hair. Like she has really long hair.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Now we need this team at Mission Pro when Mission Pro returns. We need to have we need to put
we
them
need
up.
Mission Pro to come back. Can we just make a petition, like, and everybody to sign it?
Message Thunder Rosa on all the socials, but I cannot get into the details.
I saw her a couple months ago.
And what did she say anything to you?
Did you say anything?
She didn't say anything about Mission Pro, but I did get to see her and talk to her for a while because I saw her at big event.
Yes.
In New York, November.
And she's I don't know if you had a chance the last wrestling match that where she sings. I don't know if have you seen that where she's getting to sing and wrestle. She did that in Vegas. Simon Miller was part of it. Kayla Sparks was there. And she is the Riot Cabaret champion too.
Mm-hmm. Correct me if I'm wrong. Where is exactly Riot Cabaret located?
I think its home is in UK. I think it's in
it's in England, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm supposed to go in the UK in August for like a week or two.
Really?
Ooh, okay, international.
Tag partner, we're doing a little tour, the Major League Blondes Takeover London.
Ooh, I like that. We need some skits.
I don't know, we're crazy. We're crazy people.
We need some skits where you guys go to Buckingham Palace. We need you at the.
He's so cute doing skits. I like that. Like
in one of those.
No. Like I'm gonna tell you guys something. This promo hasn't come out yet, but you're gonna I'm gonna give you a spoiler of it.
Okay.
Because it's for this weekend. It's supposed to come out tomorrow. We're wrestling this tag team that's called Monte Chica, which is Montequilla and La Chica Clara Carreras.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is, Montequilla in English actually means butter. He knows that because his gimmick is he's smooth as butter. And then Clara, fun fact, like when you ask for egg whites, it's clara, like clara de huevo.
Yeah, like clear, clear, yeah.
Yeah, so I was with Storm at a 7-Eleven, and I'm just picking up butter and egg whites. Yeah. And she's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm getting to know our opponents better. They beat us the first time. We gotta think like them. We gotta act like them. And then she's like, wait, I don't get it. She's like, I don't get it. Wait, I can't do one. And I'm like, what do you get when you cook butter and egg whites? And she goes, Monte Chica.
Cute.
That is such a blonde, like
I love that.
Blonde. Oh, that's hilarious. We need more segments like that. I think that's tremendous. I love it. I love it. Now you're wearing the Riot Act shirt. I saw that.
I am.
So Riot Act looks like another.
My age.
Now I know that there's the one guy here who doesn't look that impressed with the photo, but the rest of the crew.
No, do not banter Jay Haru.
I'm not bad nothing.
Jay Haru. No, do not disrespect Jay Haru.
I am not here for disrespect. I am here for respect. He just looked like he wasn't happy with the photo.
Not smiling.
Yeah, like he
just goes like
Yep. He's like he is in it. So how did you get involved with the Riot Act?
So I had a match at Smash Master Wrestling back in April, where I wrestled Journey Burke. And Journey was accompanied by a guy who was just giving me a hard time on the match. And then Riot Act decided that enough is enough. So they were like, nah, we're done. And they just came to my help and took him out of the equation.
Nice.
Great.
So they have your back. Do they still have your back, you think, if you needed their assistance down the road?
Yes.
Awesome. Love it.
And I got theirs too.
Love it. You can't have be part of too many factions. This is one of my favorite photos. Dude's doing the salt meme. So salt on the culo.
So Aries Perez, he's Puerto Rican. We became a tag team at Supernova Wrestling last year. It was interesting because we see each other like from time to time, but like he'll always support me, like whether I'm like someplace else and he's on Puerto Rico or vice versa. And it's funny because it's a funny intergender tag team, particularly because he's called El Sazón del Caribe. So that's why he got the seasoning.
Yeah.
So and we're called El Sazón Talentoso because the talented butt's getting some spices.
Yes.
You guys seem like you have the same like similar personalities, like similar sense of humor.
He'll like, you know, that when you have a friend that you'll tell him, let's jump off a cliff, he'll grab my hand and jump with me. Like he'll do my same chaotic stuff.
Oh, that's
he won't question it, no. And I won't question it either. He's like, let's go.
I love it.
Trust.
No doubt in my mind, I will jump with him too.
Phantasm in chat. Oh, cool. There's Miss Robles. There you go.
And you guys got like the no braids Robles. Like I took them off today.
Yes.
Your hair's so pretty too. I was gonna say that too. I haven't seen you.
It needed to breathe. Like I love my braids, but thank you. My hair needed to breathe because the braids can get like nasty.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Like they're beautiful until like you've had them for like a month, and you're like, scratching like crazy. And I was just desperate today. I was literally going on like I almost cut my hair accidentally taking them off. That's
why I stopped wearing braids. I just can't.
I can see you. No, you need to go back to the braids, sir. What do you mean? They're back in fashion.
Yeah, maybe I should.
Yeah.
I love both of these pictures. They're two different ones, but like this to me, both these pictures and kind of encapsulate who I see you as, because on the left, you know, the joy that you spread with other people, obviously the Puerto Rican pride, but also, you know, as much as this is kayfabe and wrestling, that's you and I believe Zaya Brookside. And that just seems to be such a cool moment. And I just feel like both of these pictures are like, you know, what your passion for this business, I feel like is contagious. And I feel like, you know, you really bring a lot of entertainment, but heart into your matches. So tell us a little bit the backstories for both of these photos.
So the picture on the left was the day I actually got to wrestle the current CMLL Women's Champion, Soxies, on a triple threat match, which by far I think it's the biggest match I've ever had in Puerto Rico. And even though I didn't win.
And she's Pagao, right?
She's Pagao.
Okay.
Yes, she is. She's the Boricua power.
All right.
Even though I didn't win, it was such a great moment for me because they trusted me to be in a match that I didn't think I had it in me. Like I feel like I'm like a little ball of sarcasm and self-doubt most of the times, but I tend to mask it up very well. Like you know, in my sense of humor, it works. Self-deprecation works. So who's gonna judge me for that?
Yeah.
So when I had that match, I remember I was just like, I don't deserve to be in this spot. That's my best friend. That was before she turned on the world and she became heel now. but she was there for me during that day. She actually walked out with me in my entrance for that match.
Wow.
And
how does
then
it feel when you're feeling that you're in that place? How do you get yourself out of that self-doubt and all that, and then somebody comes along and just believes in you, and you get your shot?
I feel like I'm a very like a very good example on the phrase "fake it till you make it," because you'll never see me like calm like before a match. I'll be going crazy backstage. Like I'll be like just shaky and like not insufferable, but just like a ball of nerves. And I always feel like the moment that I stop feeling like that, it's when I know that I should take a step back from wrestling, because having those reactions is what has made me conquer my fears. It's what's made me who I am. And that reaction, that fear of losing it, is what's kept me going. So the moment I don't feel any sort of way before coming like to a match, I never want that day to happen.
Very well said. There's so many of the greats, like Bryan Danielson. I think that with the Young Bucks have said this, where they still get nervous right before. Kenny Omega, I think, has said this. Still gets nervous right before a match, and you're like, you're a veteran. You're this like 20-year veteran. What do you mean nervous? And it's the same thing you just said. The moment you stop being nervous is when you stop caring, and that's when you're done. And
nerves
it's
of
that energy.
passion.
Yeah, it's that passion, that energy is what makes you, there would be a problem if you weren't nervous, like that, and there are people that aren't nervous, and it's like it translates in the match, but that's where the magic, I feel like that's when that magic happens, is when you're feeling those nerves, you're this bundle of energy, and you go out and banger, and then it's, you crush it, and people are noticing. Like, you're knocking it out of the park when people believe in you, just like this. You were talking about this match, and we got to get this Mission Pro going. I think it'd be pretty cool to see you versus a certain Riot Cabaret champion, perhaps. Maybe we could have that matchup.
That would be like a total, like the way Izzy's full circle is Bailey. Mine, in a way, one of the biggest like big circle moments is kind of Thunder Rosa. Like Thunder Rosa was like the first big women like star power that I ever interviewed back in 2022. So the fact that I interviewed Thunder Rosa, and then years later I ended up being on the before hiatus show, the Midsummer Blast.
Hashtag finish the story.
Yes, finish the story. Yes.
You're gonna pull a Cody, and you gotta finish the story.
I'm gonna pull a Cody, and it's gonna be crazy. And then you asked me about Zaya.
Yes.
That match was that was for the Adrenaline Championship Wrestling, the Fire, which is the women's division championship, where she was the champion, and then we got bamboozled because Riley Crow, funny enough, which is why it's so fun. Riley, the one part of the Riot Act, has a certain allegiance with James Ellsworth at ACW.
Really?
So I haven't, like, last time I wrestled at ACW was back in December. And I don't know how that dynamic is going to change now that she decided to help me at Smash. Because I think I'm wrestling her again in June, 6 months after Ellsworth kind of ruined this beautiful triple threat.
Ellsworth, what are you doing? What is this? Well, can you coexist? And sometimes the best opponents are your friends. Yeah. And sometimes, like, look at Edge and Christian. Look at, a lot of some of the best epic matches that they've had. This will be interesting to keep an eye on. And hopefully we'll see what translates out of that. This is the quote that you recently posted that I think You know, you've had so many great analogies already, but I wanted to highlight this.
I'm a huge rom-com fan, and that
Yep.
phrase is actually from the movie A Cinderella Story.
Mm-hmm.
It's a film made in 2004 with Hilary Duff and Chad Michael Murray.
Mm-hmm.
That quote is hidden in the diner in the movie where her evil, because yeah, it's a Cinderella story. It's like the modern version of a Cinderella story. Her stepmother took over the stuff her dad left for her. So the
Yep.
diner had changed the aesthetic of what it was, and there's a scene where the wallpaper like goes down, and then that's the phrase that shows up. Never let the fear of striking out keep you from playing the game.
And what does that mean to you?
Never let the fear of defeat or disappointment leave me from the game that I love the most, that is wrestling.
Wow. That's life lesson right there. That anything you're passionate about, don't let the fear of failure. And I think so many of us, would you agree that there's so many of us out there that like are inhibited by our own fear of failure?
I think I feel like that's all part of being human.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it's up to us to fight that fear and to become the best version of ourselves to achieve that end game that it is for us, like even if it's like an individual thing.
Mm-hmm. I think that's very well said. I love it. It's a it's a philosophy that we can be our own worst enemies, you know? And a lot of times we are our biggest opponent, but tonight your biggest opponent is not yourself. Well, maybe. Tonight your
Maybe.
biggest opponent
Maybe.
is some trivia. Because
Oh,
we already went through
yeah.
we've already went through, so we decided to put you in the hot seat, which is a segment that we Top Rope Squishy Maddie Anderson has graciously allowed us to borrow from.
Okay.
But this is a specifically oriented for you,
Mm-hmm.
Badass Maricas. So this is going to be specific questions involving Puerto Rican wrestlers.
Yes.
So we're going to see how you do.
Ooh.
And if you pass, then you are officially a champion of the hot seat. So let's get to the first question. Are you ready?
Let's go.
All right, first question. Who was the first ever Mission Pro Wrestling champion? Was it La Rosa Negra?
I know this one. I know this one.
Or JP Harlow?
La
Such an old picture
Rosa
of him.
Negra.
La
Black
Rosa Negra. Very good. Ding, ding, ding. You got the first one correct.
I just saw her at Ashe. I was at the Ashe wrestling show in Vegas, and I got to see her. I hadn't seen her in so long, too, so I was super excited to see her wrestle.
She is
Even
so
I
though
love
she lost,
her.
I love her so much.
She's so much fun. She gets the crowd hyped. She comes out that she's
she's like her, like it's crazy how like, because she's kind of calm, you could say, but then she comes out in the like from the curtains and it's like her hyped up like 10 times, and I'm like, how many coffees have you had?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's just life. Her dancing and then her split.
Yes.
I've always said
like,
she's got one of the best frog splashes I've ever seen anyone do.
The coquito splash.
Yes. I think she has one of the best ones. She's like one of my tops if I have to pick her. She's
I
up
love
there with
her.
like Rob Van Dam, and like she's great.
Yeah, that's fantastic. If you ever see the sacrifice video that Mission Pro put out, where she's flying in the air, it's like a montage of all her frogs or coquille splashes. It's fantastic. All right, question number 2. In 2023, WWE held Backlash at Jose Miguel Coliseum. Which prominent superstar won their match at the event? All 3 had a match. Which one?
I remember this, and this is messy because I wasn't there. I know Selena lost. I think Selena wrestled Rhea, I think it was.
Yep. was Rhea Ripley.
And Bad Bunny had everyone's help because that's when Savio came out. So I think it is Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny is correct. Bad Bunny had help from several.
I remember when Carlita came out, Savio came out.
Yes,
Yep.
that's when Carlito first started coming out again. But
Yep.
who did Damien go against that year? I can't remember.
That
But he
Bad
lost.
Bunny. It was against Bad Bunny.
That's who. Okay, I was
Yeah,
gonna say,
they-
is that who he
they
went
wrestled
against?
each other.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, because they tagged together first at Mania, and then
Okay, see, that's what
Yep.
it was. That's
Yep.
why I was
and then
confused.
by
right now.
that
I was like,
time,
wait,
Damien was full Judgment Day. He was very much bisexual Undertaker at that time.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love Sexual Undertaker.
I love it. All right, next question. Very tough. They're getting tougher now. Here we go. It's a real tough one. Keenis Pagao. Marty Bell.
That's hard. That's hard because Janai Kai is also Puerto Rican. But Soxy's is Boricua Power. She's half Mexican, half Puerto Rican. So you have two Puerto Ricans there, actually.
Are you sure
Janai Kai's Puerto Rican.
Are you sure?
Janai Kai's Puerto Rican and Soxy's is half Puerto Rican, half Mexican.
Okay. Well, the answer is Zuxis, but we might have to get. Yeah, I'll give you bonus points for that.
We'll have to get with the judges. We'll
go with the judges. We'll go with that. I think Hyan was one of the other possible people. She's Dominican, I believe, so as well. So hey, we'll give you the points for that. Which Puerto Rican wrestler held the United States Championship the longest? Pedro Morales, Carlito, or bisexual Undertaker?
Carlito looks so young. Oh my gosh, I can't even remember.
Like, look at that picture.
Yes.
I know, like, I'm not sure. I know, like, Carlito's best runs were as a U.S. champion with his feud with John Cena, but I don't remember how long it was. And I'm not like that good, like with Puerto Rican like wrestling, like since I can't go that back.
Mm-hmm.
And Damien wasn't champion that long.
Well, I'll give you a hint that Pedro wasn't the U.S. champion long at all, so you can actually eliminate Pedro. So it's between Carlito and Damien Priest.
I think Carlito was longer because he had that big feud with John Cena.
He had a big feud, but just think about the whole Judgment Day storyline.
He was U.S. No, but okay. Dominic and Finn were tag team, while Rhea had the women's championship, and then Damien became Mr. Money in the Bank, though. Oh shoot, this is hard.
Yep.
I'm not sure because I know he cashed it in on Drew.
Yes, the famous cash in. Yes.
Yeah, I'm still so mad about. I was so mad because I am a Drew stan so hard. He's my favorite anti-hero. I don't care what they say. I love Drew McIntyre. When he does the post board at work, I'm dying.
Yes, that's so good every time. He's so fast.
Oh, he's so witty, and I'm like, damn. So I am very much. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Damien because of the Judgment Day, but I know the most. If I ask for if it's memorable feud, it's Carlito's.
Yeah, Carlito probably had the most memorable feud of the three.
But I think Damien was.
Yep, 349.
Yeah, it was not that bad. It was not that far.
Yep, 349 days. He was the United States champion. But now we have a female United States champion named Zelina Vega.
Zelina Vega.
So
yes.
Chelsea Green is now flipping out. She's going to be a hot mess.
Yeah.
All right, now.
Oh, we love that.
The quién son estos culos?
Sorry, that made me pop too much. That's Riley Crow's butt and mine.
Wait, Riley Crow and yours? That is correct. That is correct. And
I'll fight Riley until the end of time in Maryland. Not in Pennsylvania, just in Maryland.
Just in Maryland. Now I have to say again, you got to follow The booty call. Phantom in the chat says, "Oh brother, the booty call." And
Should be
Pepe's.
a tag team move that we do together.
Well, definitely, I like the hashtag more ass in wrestling.
Yeah,
And
she's
then-
always, because I follow you on Twitter and you've always been the more ass in wrestling since it started. I've loved you for that. Yes.
I hate it when like people just go off. Like if somebody wants to wear something more conservative, that's completely okay. I've never
Yeah,
been like, you
exactly.
can't. No. That's what my phrasing was all about. I know it was like a controversial wording, but it was on purpose. It got attention. That's why when the infamous Evolve show with the "I'm distracted by your gear" thing
The
happened.
Mickey James saying that, yeah, and I was like, now Mickey, let's
Yeah.
not
No,
talk
girl,
about
no.
outfit.
James
Yeah,
saying
exactly.
that.
Like while I understood what she was trying to say,
Yeah.
like by her time, but like, girl, when you're hardcore country, you're a booty shorts.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
Yeah.
and that was a
Easy
choice.
dude.
That was a choice. It's a great choice.
Yeah.
But it was yours. And you made it and no one judged you for it.
Well, let
Even
me ask you
like,
this.
look, there's other girls on LFG that wear less clothes than that, or not
Yeah.
less clothes, but you know what I mean. Like we're seeing all their booty. You know what I mean? We're seeing everything. That's why I was like, this is just picking on Mickey's part during that episode. I felt because it was
It
like
was-
you don't have to pick at
yeah.
her.
It was probably
there's
trying to be
definitely-
controversial. Yeah, and like I know that there's been a push to break away from the bra and panty matches of the Attitude Era, but if that was because it wasn't their choice. But if
Yes,
it's your
exactly.
choice, if you want to put on
That's
whatever you
completely
want,
okay.
that's
Yeah,
your
if I want to
choice,
wear
'cause you have
lingerie
that
to the
freedom.
ring, that's
Yep.
me today. Like what? Yes.
If I
it's
feel
cute
like
today.
it, let's go. And if I want to
Feeling
wear a
cute,
full on like long
yeah.
sleeve,
Yep.
I
If
want to come dressed as a nun. Yeah, exactly. Like
If
let
I
us
want to
wear
put on a
whatever.
thong
no,
and
you're saying this, but I hope Zoe and Shayna come back with a revival of right to censorship.
yes, yeah, get Ivory and get
Oh.
Because I
get
feel
Ivory to
like that's
join.
where it's going.
Yep,
That would be
It's killing me.
that would be.
I don't know if you've seen that. I don't know if you've seen that on Twitter. They're like,
Oh yeah, they've been like, oh my gosh, why are you wearing that? Yeah, I've been watching with Zoe. That one's been good. I've been watching that.
All right, this is the bonus question. This is a tough one, but this is, and I'll give you a hint. Yes, there's a reason why it's an MLW photo because MLW was the show. Who was the first Latina, Puerto Rican actually, Latina to serve as an executive producer for a U.S. national wrestling show?
it has to be Salina de la Renta.
Are you sure? Is that your final answer?
Yes.
That is correct. That is correct. It was a historic moment. And yes, and I don't know if she's ever is she gonna bring the blue hair back? I don't know. It's
when I started, my trainer used to compare me a lot with her.
ooh.
Ooh.
I can kind of see. I can kind of
I don't know why. I think it was her because she's always been very feisty in her answers.
Well,
And then
you're
he
quick.
stopped-
Yeah, I can see
You're
that.
very
yeah.
quick, yeah.
Mhm.
I agree. Fantastic. I think that's awesome. Nahir, it's always good catching up with you. Fantastic. We gotta
No,
get you
it's
back
been an
again.
hour and I couldn't even tell. I'm not even being sarcastic. What?
No, and I definitely, friend, I think you should stop doubting yourself. I think you're
Yeah.
a really good wrestler. Like, I know the nerves matter because, like, that's how you still love this. But at the
Mhm.
same time, like, I feel like don't be so nervous anymore. Like, you're good. Like, and like you said through the whole, like, our whole episode, like, you've been getting these little signs from the world. So just keep listening and you'll keep winning. Like, I definitely feel like you're on the right path. Like the world is letting you know, like, hey,
Mhm.
you won the Queen of Maryland. You saw the Miss America, which was basically a sign like, hey, this is Miss America. You've done pageants. Guess what? You're going to win Queen of Maryland. You know what I mean? Like, it's just those little things you have to keep paying attention to. But I think you're on the right track and I think you're really good. And I think you should just not stop. Don't even doubt yourself.
I want to piggyback off that. The only thing I disagree with Dora is that I think that nervous energy is helpful. But I think that's what Dora was saying too, is definitely, I agree with Dora 100%. You have so many people believing in you and that just continues to point you right direction. kind of like AJ Lee used to say, she said in her book about her superpower, like, you know, it's crazy is my superpower.
Crazy is my superpower, yeah.
Turn
exactly.
that insecurity, turn all those feelings into your super, which you already do. And that nervous energy that, you know, there's comedians right before they go into an arena, they still get nervous, even though they, like a Dave Chappelle or whatever, they still get that nervousness. And then they go out and they crush. It's just, that's the sign that you still care. I think Dora would agree with me that you are going to be an integral part of the future of Mission Pro when it returns. So we definitely need
I
to
really
make sure.
hope Mission Pro comes back. I really want Mission Pro to come back because I know there's really good tag teams in Mission Pros. Like I know I work really, like I function well as a singles, but I would also like to come to Mission Pro as a major league blonde in the future.
Yes, and Jake's
actually
been here before
fight
too,
for
so
the
that
tag
would be
team
so good.
titles too.
Yes.
All right, so Nahir, you have an opportunity. We're going to let you have the floor here. You know, Fire and Fury are still defending the Mission Pro tag team titles all over the United States and United States territories such as Puerto Rico. I think it would be interesting if you had a moment right here to look in the camera and say something to Fire and Fury on behalf of the Major League Blondes, if you had something to tell them.
I think Fire and Fury have been in a commodity streak for way too long. And I think they're about to find out what means a little spice in their life when the Major League Blondes take over their Mission Pro Wrestling Tag Team Championship. It could be in Texas, it could be in Puerto Rico, you name it, anytime, anywhere. Because you're about to fight us, you're about to strike out, and you're going to catch us later.
Oh, there we go. Let's get this going.
We're going to have to short this. We're going to put this in the short. You got to put this in the short.
This is going in the short, and we are waiting to hear Nova Fire and Morgan Mercy, Fire and Fury. Let's get this going. Phantasm wants it. Everybody in the chat wants it. There it is.
I read a damn.
I love it. Well, on behalf of Dora and myself, we any final thoughts or words of wisdom before we let you go?
I've always said it. I'll say it once. I'll say it again. Thank you, first of all, for having me. I feel like I'd be nothing if it wasn't because of the opportunities I get in like platforms like this, and it's always an honor to be back at the Mission Pro Spotlight. And I hope to see y'all later. I hope Mission Pro comes back later so we get to party more.
Yes.
And to see more wrestling, more women's wrestling.
I will guarantee this, Nahir. When Mission Pro returns, you and I are going to have a nice big pot of pagao together.
Ooh, I love it.
Maybe, and the Florosa's with us. She can come too. But yeah, we're definitely down with that. Well, thank you so much for joining us on behalf of La Chica de la Hola Hola and Dora. This is Mind Runner. Thanks for tuning in to Mission Pro Spotlight. Nahir, your family, you can come back anytime. We'd love to have you as many times as possible. But until Thursday at our regular time, goodbye, mwah, and good night, bang. Oh, and
swagger down the street with your red lips and funky beat. You better hold your head up to the sky. I'm gonna roll with you till the day I die.
boy, technology